And as a Muslim, I had been taught that virtually all Christians that I ever run into are veiled polytheists. They believe in multiple gods. They call it one so that they can have the honor and dignity of being a monotheist, but they actually believe in three, and they don't know why. And that's what I thought. I kind of lorded it over people. Anytime a Christian would come up to me, I think, this is exciting. I get to tear down their faith. And I did that with many, many people. This all changed when I got to the university level. Here's what happened. I was at a public speaking and debate tournament. I was on the forensics team. And we were going out to our first tournament. Anyone forensics debate? Good. Join it. It's awesome. That was my plug. So I'm on the first tournament for the year. And I'm going to the event. And we're all going to pick roommates. Okay? There's 4 guys on the team. There's me, a guy named David, a guy named Sarad, and another guy named Richard, but he calls himself Rashad. Okay? And to give you a good idea of Rashad, he called himself a Madonna with a RuPaul twist. To say he was a flaming homosexual would be an understatement. So, do the math. 4 guys, 3 heterosexuals, 1 homosexual, 2 rooms. David and I looked at each other and we're like, we're rooming together. And Sarad's like, thanks, guys. By the way, Sarad ended up spending the night with us. So that night, everyone on the team goes out. They're all partying. It's great. We've practiced. We're ready. We're going to this tournament. So they all go out. Some of them brought marijuana. They were going to smoke. Some of them went to drink. Some went to go to the clubs. I stayed back because my parents had taught me, Nabeel, you need to be above moral reproach. You need to be of such a high character that anyone who sees you immediately glorifies Allah. That's what my parents had taught me. And then my friend David stayed back. So I said, hey, this is interesting. He's staying back. He's not going out with them. And we started talking, and while we're talking, he pulls out a Bible and starts reading it. I'm like, no way. I got a Christian to take down tonight. And so I look at David, I'm like, David, are you really going to read that book? Yeah. Don't you realize that book is horribly corrupt? He's like, what are you talking about? And I said, think about this for a second. Jesus spoke Aramaic, right? And then the early church spoke Hebrew, and then when the New Testament was written, it was written in Greek. So by the time the New Testament is written, Jesus' words are a translation of a translation. You've already got things that have to be lost in translation because no translation is perfect. And by that point, you have a small church. It's not until the church gets to Rome and the New Testament is translated into Latin, the Vulgate, when you have a popular level Bible. And then that Latin Bible lasts for over 1,000 years. That's the main Bible. And then when you finally get the English Bibles, it's through a German translation. You got the KJV. So that's why today you've got the KJV, the NASB, the NIV, the RSV, the ESV, the who knows what V. You got so many versions of the Bible. How am I supposed to know what the Word of God is? Now, let me give you a little bit of background on David. David had spent 5 years doing nothing but studying apologetics and the Bible. And he's kind of shy. He doesn't like engaging people. So that whole night, he's like, the Lord put me in the room with a Muslim. God, I don't want to start a conversation. If you want me to talk to him, can you get him to start talking? So David's been praying, and he's ready. He says, Nabeel, let me tell you something. He says, the disciples lived in an area that was multilingual. Just because Jesus spoke Aramaic doesn't mean he didn't speak other languages. And the disciples, if they spoke Aramaic, could have written in another language. And it's not the same thing as things being lost in translation. People who are truly multilingual can write thoughts in multiple languages. And at that point, you have a Greek New Testament, which is reconstructed today with total accuracy. And by the way, if we did not have any of our 5,500 Greek New Testament manuscripts to reconstruct the New Testament today, guess what? We have over 30,000 quotations of the New Testament from the patristics with which we can reconstruct almost the entire New Testament as well. Plus other translations of the New Testament from ancient times like Latin and Syriac and Coptic. I'm looking at David, I'm like, you are making this up. I have talked to so many Christians and not a single one has ever said any of this to me before. He's like, try me, let's go. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And so we became friends. Like at that moment, we started a relationship where we would go together and, yeah, we would go at it with each other, but we were real friends. Like, he was doing biology at the time. He wanted to do philosophy and biology and ultimately get his PhD in the problem of evil. And I wanted to do pre-med. So I was in pre-med, so we were in a lot of the same classes together. We went to chemistry together, and we went to bio together, we went to genetics together, we went to evolutionary biology together. That was fun, by the way, because neither David nor I are atheists. We're very much against atheists. And our professor was definitely an atheist. And so she's sitting there teaching like the Greek taxonomy of various beings, like, you know, the kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. So she's going through all that, and her hair, by the way, it advertises the fact that she's a lesbian atheist. I just said that. I didn't mean to say that. Can we strike that from any kind of record? I'm sure you can. Thank you very much. But so it was just kind of this crazy, like, coming at you, like, you can't look away, kind of like a car accident on someone's head, like, you know? And so David and I are sitting there. We can't listen to a word she's saying. We're just coming up with a taxonomy for her hair. You know, that's what we're doing. So we are like real friends. And while we go at it with each other, while we're talking about things that are very important to us, we know that when we're challenging one another, it's not because we want to tear each other down. It's because we want to build each other up. And so when he tells me, Nabeel, the Quran is not the word of God, I'm not hearing, Nabeel, you're inferior because your faith is incorrect. I'm hearing, Nabeel, I want to build you up in the truth, and you're wrong, and I want to share the truth with you. And in reverse, I'm trying to share Islam with him to do the same thing. I'm not trying to tear him down, and he knows it. So this is how our relationship goes. And I cannot encourage you enough to understand the importance of Christian love in evangelism. Okay? Evangelism was not meant to be performed apart from the context of love. They will know you by your love. And if they see you and they're not seeing love, they're not seeing Christ. Period.